All right, Joey, welcome to the channel. Thanks so much for being on. So, when did you join Ecom Freedom?
It was March of 2018.
March 2018. So it's been many years, right? It's been
Yes.
5 years. 5 years. So tell us. I guess we'll start off with the big question: how much in total sales have you made in e-commerce across Amazon and Shopify since that time?
Wow. It has to be at least well, if it's 5 years, I would say like 7 to 8 million in gross
7 to 8
sales.
million. So, okay.
That's an approximate. It could be more
It
because
could
there
be
were a
more.
lot of platforms.
Now, before we get into this video, I just wanted to mention that this is an honest and unpaid interview. I don't pay, anybody to come onto this channel and share their experiences. Every experience is unique, and also, very importantly, is that any earnings claims that you hear in this interview. So, if the student is mentioning a dollar figure, or if I mention a dollar figure, for example, 10,000, 20,000, or 50,000, it's not a guarantee that you are going to achieve the same result. Nobody can make such a guarantee, obviously, because business is business, and some people fail, some people succeed. And honestly, success depends on a lot of factors, including your work that you put into it, the amount that you invest, market conditions, and honestly, sometimes just luck. And with that being said, I hope that you enjoy this success interview. And is that just your own revenue from like your 100% owned business, or did you start that with partners?
100% owned. Yeah.
100% owned.
A recent one is a partner. So
Cool.
that one's cool. Yeah.
And out of that 7, 8 million, obviously with e-commerce, we see profit margins of about, 20, 30%. Is that about your profit margin on that?
Yeah, about so.
Okay. So that's still like more than a million. It's like 2 million,
Yeah.
3. Wow. Okay. So tell us.
I mean, it was gradual though. The 2018, I launched a Jade Roller.
Yeah.
So that was it didn't work out great for me because I didn't hook up the review automation thing to request for reviews. So once broken Jade Rollers showed up, so it was a process. So, but the gross sales just went climbing year after year. But
So
yeah,
tell us, and did you succeed? I know you said the Jade Roller. So did you make money with the Jade Roller?
not really. Broke even.
Broke even. So
Yeah.
the Jade Roller was your first product.
Yes.
Yeah. So for those watching and, now, the Jade Roller was like one of those products that, was like a trend. Everybody was, launching. At first they were green, and then by the way, I actually launched the Jade Roller too. I don't know if you remember my story. Yeah. I launched the Jade, but I launched it. It was like Q3 2017. And the reason I launched it was because my mom, she told me, like, my mom is into beauty, whatever. And she told me, she was like, you should check out these Jade Rollers, because she knew I was looking for a product. And I went, lo and behold, I went on Jungle Scout at the time, and like, holy crap,
Yeah.
all these sellers are making so much money, like barely any reviews at the time. So I launched it, and I had that exact same issue where they were showing up broken and stuff. And what ended up happening was I basically grilled the supplier, and I'm like, hey, you got to like fix this. And we fixed it. So I actually made really good money with it at the time. But, it was one of those products that got really saturated really quick. So Jade Roller was your first. And then what about your second product? How was that?
Man, so the second product was some type of a massage glass ball that I also sent in. That was another product that kind of like was a parallel to that.
Okay.
And yeah, it didn't work out too well. Amazon didn't work out well for me only until the past 3 years.
Okay, so 3 years. So 2020. Yeah.
Yeah. So I got into Amazon. Like before I watched your course, I was working for somebody who resold supplements on Amazon.
Oh, I see.
I worked for him, and he resold Standard Process, all of these like
I know, yeah.
Yep. And so that's how I was introduced for it. I worked for him for like 2 years, and he was paying me out like $5,000 a month.
Yeah.
And it was from there where after a couple of years, I was just like, wow, this is real. And at some point, he would make references to where he's like, this might not last forever. And I was like, I was so comfortable to getting paid by him. And I was just so good at the sales of understanding what I needed to order from all these chiropractors and nutritionalists. And it just became, I had like, a Google sheet where I had all these recurring orders from these people. And at some point I said, all right, I need to start learning myself, this internet thing, or else, one day I'm going to get a call like, hey, my Amazon account's down, or just, I can't pay you this month. So I literally went on YouTube and I just put in like how to make money online. And that's what started, this cycle of just kind of like pretty much challenging myself to do this, open up an Amazon account myself. And so the videos that I stumbled upon, I was able to relate to all of them because I was like, oh, Mike's doing the guy, the guy that I'm working for is doing that. I was like, this is true. Even though there were like those clickbait titles, I was able to resonate with it because I was like, I'm getting paid from someone for the past 2 years. So that's what just started my journey. And then I stumbled upon, a couple different people on YouTube. And then when I saw your videos, I was like, I could listen to this guy. I
Yeah.
was like, I could sit here and that's just, I was like a sponge. And like, and your videos pretty much just opened the door for me to be able to like, take in the information, and it resonated. And that was how that all started.
Gotcha. Cool. So you mentioned, but that was just like me. I typed on YouTube how to make money online at the time before I was working at the bank. You know my story. For everybody watching, I was young. I was 20 years old when I got into the whole entrepreneurship thing. Because I started reading the books. Actually, my friend at the gym walked up to me and he was like, "You should read Rich Dad Poor Dad." And I'm like, "What is this?" And he was like, "Well, you'll see. Like, it's a book that teaches you how to get rich." I'm like, "Hey, if it was that easy, everybody would be rich, right?" And I was kind of a hater at the start, but then I'm like, "Oh, you know what? This is cool. I'll read it." So I read it, and it opened up my eyes to like the different mindset of wealth and all that. It was recommending real estate, which is just completely stupid to recommend to somebody with no money, for most people. Like it's just dumb. Like I think Kiyosaki's delivery there of the business model, I don't know what he's doing now, but I think it's really impractical.
Yeah.
So I spent a whole year after that, just like reading all these books, and then I stumbled on Millionaire Fastlane and all this. But then, but there was a lack of like actual how to do it. Like at the time, I really was like, man, if I have to start a business, like if I want to start a business, like I have to start like a Facebook or something. I have to start like some crazy company. And then one time I typed in how to make money online on YouTube, just like you did. And there was a guy named Tanner J. Fox, a young kid, just like me, had a Lamborghini. He's like, "Hey guys, I have a Lamborghini. Here's my Amazon." Like, and obviously it's clickbait and stuff looking back, but like it grabs your attention,
Yeah.
And he had a course. He launched the course. I joined his course. And then I joined another guy's course as well. And from that information, I was like, this is amazing. Like, like when at first you're kind of like, I don't know, but like you, and then you saw my videos and then you're like, wait a second, this guy's doing what I think Mike, right? Mike is doing. So like you knew that it was real, And so it clicked for me. I'm like, hey, this is something I can do. I started doing it and it went great. I mean, my first two products were shit. And then my third product was good. Yeah. So okay, so you said that you didn't actually succeed on Amazon until about 2020. So what, did you start Shopify before then or what?
Yeah, so the business model that kind of like went right after that was, I was watching all the videos, retail arbitrage, online arbitrage, and I did the Amazon. So the kid Mike that I worked with, I was like, hey, let's launch this Jade Roller. Like, let's buy a course together. We split the course. And I was kind of like, I just wanted to like do my best to try and pay him forward and be like, hey, let's try and so that's when we bought your course and it didn't work out. And when that didn't work out, I think I started reselling supplements on my account until that didn't work out when like just another problem came. And then I took a break and then a shop, like a website that we were waiting for a Google ad account to get approved, the Google Merchant Center. So you have Google Merchant Center and then Google Ads. You have to connect them in order to promote it on Google Shopping. Mike was waiting to like, we were trying to work on like a drop shipping website.
Because you were like, kind of like, screw Amazon for now. Let's try this.
Yeah, that's how it's been for me. It's like, do your best in one area.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't work, then let's just take a break for a second. Maybe we'll come back to it. But like, and so this Google Merchant account went active. So this is how kind of the next part of the journey started. He transferred products over from eBay and tripled and like doubled the price or 3x the price with this thing called Woo Importer. It wasn't a Shopify site. It was a WordPress site. And so we transferred the products over. We promoted them on Google Ads. I had like really not much money in my bank. I was paying for rent. He stopped paying me out. So like I had like $2,000 in my bank. He was like, here, the Google ad account's active. You're gonna spend $40 a day. Hook up your debit card to it. I was like, okay.
Or this eBay
For
sort of
eBay
scheme.
supplements,
Yeah,
they were legitimate, obviously, but they were on eBay. You could buy them on eBay for like cheap. So the thing was we were hitting the impulse market buyers who did not want to go sign up anywhere else, but they saw it on Google because they searched it there and said, yes, I want that now. And so it might have been $15 or $10 on eBay, and we were putting it for 30. 10, we were tripling it, if it was 10. And so anyways, he put the thing active. And for like the first day I got 3 sales. I spent $40 and it was like, I think it was like $300 in total. I was like, and then I was like, Mike, I was like, if I double this 40 to spend 80, like, will it bring me? He's like, yeah, you could try.
You found a money printer. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
And so I
That's
did
what it
that.
seems like, right? On the,
No,
when you see that the first time,
crazy.
you're like, I'm literally printing money, right?
No, okay, yeah, the AI of Google Ads. And I was never successful like you were with the Facebook ads. I'm
Yeah.
like currently doing it now. I'm trying to build up a good pixel and everything, but both of their systems, when they find customers, it's crazy. Like my uncle has a site. This thing's just finding customers. I don't even understand how it works. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Well, at this point, it's so advanced, even compared
Yeah,
to when we
it's
started.
so it's
Yeah.
so that was the first site. First 3 days, $40. And then I asked him, I was like, hey, if I double this to 80, like the money was coming to my bank account from the Stripe. I used Stripe then, and it was, it was paying, it was making sense. And then one product just stuck, like a weight loss product. And then like it went from doing like $250 a day in sales, 300 to like 1,000, 2,000. And in 2.5 months, I was able to like profit 20 grand.
Yeah.
It was intense. I
Yeah.
was pulling the money out of my bank because I was like, I didn't believe it was real.
What were you stuffing it under your mattress?
Nah, I just like brought it to my house and put it in like an envelope because I was like,
I don't know if I'm this is too good to be true.
it was.
Yeah. Okay.
This gets crazy. So my brother-in-laws, they had a pizzeria in
Yeah.
Staten Island, and I would go to them every day. I'm like, guys, I'm like, look at the sales. I was
Of
like, you
course, they
guys
have a
got it.
pizzeria in Staten Island. Yes.
They literally closed down the pizzeria. They do e-commerce ever since then.
They closed the pizzeria when they saw how much money
They
you're
were
making.
miserable there. They were miserable
Yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah,
It
yeah.
was so I have 3 brother-in-laws, and 2 of them worked there with their father and mother, and they all did not enjoy it. And so I looked at them, like my brother-in-laws, I was like, you guys got to try it, for this. That one was going to go in the police department, one was going to do the fire, like one was going to do UPS, whatever it was. They were looking any way out.
Yeah.
And I just stumbled upon the Google ad account thing. And I was like, I can't believe this. I was like, Dimitri, I'm like, I was like, just make a WordPress site. I was like, I don't know how to get the Google ad site approved. I was like, but just figure it out. Cause Mike was the one who did it for me.
Yeah. So can I clarify just for everybody
Yeah.
watching? Because I know that you mentioned that you started reselling these eBay products on your WordPress site. So for those watching, WordPress is like an old school way to make a website. And it's like, I wouldn't say it's an equivalent to Shopify, but basically, Shopify allows you to do the same thing. Why didn't you do it on WordPress and not on Shopify at the time?
That's just the way that Mike set it up. That was how my friend set it up.
Oh, I think, he probably just like Googled like how to make a website really
No,
quick.
he's been doing that for a minute. Like he was doing it for even before that website. We had a website that I was fulfilling the orders from.
Yeah.
And it was called refreshrecipes.com.
Okay.
And he just transferred over like we were hooking up with suppliers. He was like, here, just throw these products on. And I was doing all the like, the heavy lifting of fulfilling the orders. And I was like, we made $350 this month. I was like, I'm not doing this anymore.
Okay. So you made 20 grand in 2 months, or like, this is crazy. You started pulling money out of the, sorry, how much?
2.5 months.
2.5 months. Yeah. 20 grand in 2.5 months.
Because my credit card merchant got shut off because it was for supplements. I was learning the whole credit card merchant thing, and I was navigating this.
The typical headaches of business. Yeah.
This is funny. So the credit card merchant guy, I was like, hey, is there any way I can get approved for this credit card? They were like, yeah, just send us a picture of your office and everything. And I'm like, I was working out of my garage. I had to get one of those shelves, and Mike was like, put some supplements on the shelf and take a picture of that.
Dude, that is so old school. Like, it just shows you how like behind, these like companies are. They're like, yeah, send us a picture of your office.
I sent pictures. Legit. And also a lady came to my house from another credit card merchant to like take pictures of my office space.
You're kidding me.
I literally opened up a 1-car garage at this place I was renting.
What was this? Like Chase? Was this like Chase Bank? Like one of those banks? Like,
no, it was
one of the banks, right?
It was like authorized.net, someone with authorized.net.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
And Mike was just like, yeah, this is the best one on the internet. Call them. And I was like,
so, okay. So then, but the funny, what I go back to, this is hilarious. So 20K profit in 2.5 months. Holy shit. Start pulling the money out. Then you go drive down to Staten Island, you go to your family's pizzeria.
Brother-in-law, I would go there to eat,
Okay, okay. And you're like, yo, look how much money I'm making, right?
Yeah, because I knew that they were hurting. Like I knew that they were just, not
Yeah.
happy.
And
So I was,
so they freaked out, right?
yeah, they were
They're like,
happy.
holy shit.
They were happy for me, but I
Yeah.
wanted them to be as happy as I was.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But that's what I mean. And so then, because they were going to go and just close the pizzeria, they were miserable. So then they started doing it. So how are they doing today?
They're doing great. They literally bought a house that they bought an investment property.
Yeah.
That cost $1 million.
Wow.
And
So,
the investment property is 2 houses on one plot, and it has four rental units.
wow.
2 in one, 2 in the other.
From e-commerce.
All from drop. Not now they just pretty much do websites. They had Amazons, but the Amazon sometimes
It's annoying.
they get deactivated, and then
Yeah.
you're like, figuring out how you can. But yeah, right now all from pretty much selling products
Yeah.
on.
But even with with any business, I want to clarify for people watching, like even with Shopify, your Stripe account can get deactivated. You get problems. Like it just happens no matter what you do. Amazon got its own headaches. Shopify has its own headaches. But the truth is like you find one, you try it, you give it a good try like you did. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And if it sticks, yeah, okay, there's going to be fires that pop up. It's the life of of an entrepreneur. But let me sorry, go ahead.
No, it's going to test you to your core.
It
You have
will.
to be like
Yeah. But it's
100%
better
resilient.
than owning a pizzeria and being miserable in Staten Island, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So, especially, I guess that's New York area. It's like there's.
Listen, I'm sad that they closed it. It was the most best food ever.
Well,
they weren't planning on closing it. It just so happened that when my brother-in-law started pursuing this more, the father was like, "All right, good, then we'll just close."
Well, there's certainly not a lack of probably pizzerias in that area. So, okay. So let me. I want you to continue your story from the pizzeria point, and then the credit card people. They shut you down. They came to your garage. Yeah. So what happened after?
Okay, so yeah, so the website went down. It went down because of the credit card. So I did when it went down, I got that email where it says, "Hey, we're sorry to inform you. We just, you know what I mean? We'll give you 3 to 5 days." But it was an email they were being as nice as possible.
We don't support your business model, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it was Stripe.
Yeah.
And so at that point, I was fulfilling like 31 orders a day at like Starbucks. Like I had to get out of the house. I had to like fulfill these orders from eBay, fulfilling them one by one.
You mean like electronically on your computer?
What?
You mean like fulfill, just to clarify for people. You were packing the orders, or you were just
I was fulfilling orders on eBay and sending it to the address that it was on my website.
Okay, so electronically. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Like you didn't have a warehouse with all these supplements.
No, it was drop shipping. I was drop shipping it from eBay.
Yeah, like literally buying the thing on eBay, putting the customer's address, and then just doing that. Okay, yeah.
And that's, to clarify, that still works till this day.
Wait, kidding.
I gave it up 2.5 years ago because I was tired of fulfilling orders one by one. I was like, there's definitely a better way, and there was.
Well, why didn't you hire like an assistant in the Philippines?
You know what? I actually have like the best assistants ever from Honduras.
Okay.
VAs.
Yeah.
And that's when I hired the VA to help me fulfill the orders.
I gotcha.
But this was like before COVID happened. I think it might have been, right before everything happened. And I hired her. She worked for me. This was my first time having an experience of someone working with me. And I was like, I seen all the videos, and I was like on Fiverr, and I was like, I don't feel comfortable. My friend who's a photographer in Brooklyn, he was like, I have a large group of photographer friends, and they have this VA group that helps them with professionals, like for real estate people. And I was like, hey, hook me up. And so I found like an amazing VA, company there. And I got a girl from Honduras who works for me still to this day, like changed the game for me. She was working for me, and she was fulfilling the orders, and, and she did her best. She was doing well. But at some point I was just tired. Like, I don't know if it was, I was staring at my screens for so long, but I felt like a twitch in my eye,
I've had that before. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was just sitting there. I was like, this ain't right. I was like, this isn't healthy. And I was just, everything in me wanted to do something different. I'd just been feeling that. I was like, I love that I found this, and it worked for the past year, however long it was. I was like, but I need to excel to the next level, because this is ridiculous that this is working. And so that's what happened.
You
Yeah.
still knew, you're like, this is ridiculous. This still works. Yeah.
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 To me, it was just like, I'm better than this. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
let me like
Yeah.
launch a
Like,
brand. Like,
yeah,
this is
you felt
great.
like you found like some kind of a secret scheme that nobody else knows, and it was not gonna last, right? Like that's what you
Yeah.
thought.
Yeah.
So,
So,
so can I ask
yeah,
you, how did you get your? Because I know you said the lady, credit card people, they sent you an email saying we don't support your business model, and then
how did I get one?
you had a lady come by to your house and check that you're a legitimate operation. How did you get that back?
I just ended up stumbling upon someone. What was it? I think we got hooked up with a fulfillment center that had someone that like they had a credit card merchant. They're like, they'll help you, like, because they
Okay,
work
so that
with
you
our
were processing the
products.
orders through their merchant. Yeah,
It
yeah,
was
yeah, yeah.
something, it was something like that. To be honest, what's been the gem for me was Bank Card USA. So if anyone is looking for a credit card merchant, I got a guy, his name's John. I don't know his last name, but he's the best. They can get anything active, anything that's legitimate. Like, you know
Yeah,
what I mean? Like,
so that's like if Stripe is giving you shit, right?
yeah, yep,
Okay, gotcha. And
yeah,
do they take international payments as well?
definitely.
Okay, so like no matter if a person's from Norway or whatever, they'll work.
As a
Okay.
matter of fact, I want to turn on international shipping on my site because,
Okay.
got Canada people and people from the UK.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So, and then you mentioned, so okay, so you were like, well, you hired this VA, and you were like, I'm just tired of this business model. I want to do something serious. And then what happened?
Yeah. So then I asked her, I was like, Fiamma, do you do like graphic design work? And she was like, yeah, I went to school for graphic design. And I was like, really? And, I had a fulfillment center that has 100 different supplements, and you send them your label file, you get the order, they drop ship it for you, and they send you a bill. So they like do this like drop shipping model where you don't have to buy everything up front. You can just pay it one by one.
Right.
And I had that sitting on the shelf. I didn't know what to do with it until I stumbled upon eBay, and I was like, wow, I would love to, just sell my own products where I don't have to fulfill the orders. And that's what I did. I started just like investigating throughout the internet of all different, keywords that were rich. And I just started designing labels, and I just started slapping them on and just seeing which one stuck. And I just built up a whole catalog of different
Supplements. Yeah.
supplements. And I listed them on my eBay. I listed them on eBay, listed them on Etsy, anywhere and everywhere that I could sell supplements. I would duplicate them with like, an app that would just transfer them over instantly,
Yeah.
and also on Shopify. So then that was pretty much where it led to, was just selling supplements on Google Ads through Shopify and just learning that whole world. And that's where it ultimately led to launching a brand registry on Amazon and launching an actual brand on Amazon, the subscription-based model. I have subscriptions on my website, but what I did on Amazon is just a game changer. It's like 80% of the gross sales when it comes down to,
Even to this
it's just,
day.
yeah, for the new thing that I have going, we have all the other platforms, and 80% of the sales are on Amazon.
Gotcha.
Because yeah.
So basically in 2018, you tried Amazon, you took the course, you tried Amazon, you're like, I tried this, it's not really working out. Then you went to that supplement drop shipping off of eBay to,
Yeah, I kind of jumped around on the timeline. I jumped around the timeline.
Oh, that's fine.
So,
That's fine.
So the $20,000 that I first made from the first drop shipping site, credit card merchant went down. When the credit card merchant went down, I was relieved because I couldn't believe like how many orders. It was overwhelming. All the orders I was fulfilling every day. I was like, literally, I couldn't have ever expected that to happen. And I was trying my best to hold myself together every day to fulfill these orders. It was
at Starbucks.
yeah. Like sometimes I was like, I have to go to Starbucks right now. And I remember sitting there and just like, and it was overwhelming. So when that email came in, I was like so happy. Like, and for a moment, I was relieved. Why? Because I had the knowledge, and I was like, I don't care. I was like, I know what to do now. And so in that moment, I was like relieved that I was able to take a break to recollect on what just happened and to now really plot my course. And so I tried my best because I was like, all right, maybe I should try and get a Google a credit card merchant. But after those first two calls, I didn't pursue it. I said to myself, I'm going to take a break for a couple months. So, just so that I can kind of like collect my thoughts and figure out what I really want to do with this knowledge that I just got.
Yeah.
And so then as I was taking a break, just kind of like taking it all in, I just went to like TJ Maxx one day, and I was like remembering videos about scanning the products. And I was like, you know what? Like,
In the
just something
bargain
felt
bin.
right.
Yeah.
Something felt right that day. I walked in I was like, let me just scan stuff. I was bored. And I found these Blue Lizard lotions for $10 that were selling for 35. I literally, you were making a easy $10, like it was an easy like, and I went to all over the tri-state area, bought 10,000 bottles worth of
On Amazon.
I sent them into Amazon.
Wait, you bought 10,000 bottles of Blue Lizard?
Sorry, $10,000 worth.
Oh, okay, okay. I was like, with 10,000, were you like renting U-Hauls?
My car was filled with TJ Maxx, Marshalls, plastic bags. I was walking out. I was literally getting them from every single store.
What was the product? Blue Lizard.
Blue Lizard lotion. When in the sun, the bottle turns turns like a blue color. That was so.
Dude, I love this, man. This is probably the best interview I've ever done. It's just the most interesting story. I love it. Yeah. Okay, so wait. Sorry, in the timeline, at what you didn't get into the Amazon course yet?
So 2018. I know, right? That's a good point.
Like,
so
did you join the Amazon course after the Blue Lizard lotions or before the Blue Lizard?
So your course happened, Jade Roller happened, and then it might have been at 2019. So it was because I checked the Instagram message when I first messaged you. I was like, hey, what do you think about this product?
Yeah.
And so that was 2018 March. We launched it, got it from China. That happened fairly quickly. And so it was 2019 when his Amazon account went down at the end of 2018. So it was around Christmas time. I remember this. And it was so bad where he was like, you know, I like ended up working at this like call center for like fast payday loans for like 4 weeks.
You did?
Because he was trying to sell me off because he knew something was about to pop. He was like, yo, you should maybe like get another job for the meantime. I was like, all right. I did the Jade Roll. So that happened. That, and like, you know, I even went to my dad and my friend and his friend Mike, and I was like, guys, you know, his account went down. I know what to do. I was like, can you guys lend me 30 grand? They were like, looked at me like I was nuts.
Wait, 30 grand for what? For the Blue Lizard?
No, to just launch the supplements on my own Amazon account.
Oh, okay.
Because he was done.
Okay. Yeah.
So, you know, so I bought your course in 2018, March. The Jade Roller didn't work too well. The Refresh Recipes website was working where he introduced me like, hey, fulfill these orders. Wasn't profitable.
Yeah.
Months later, his Amazon account got suspended. It was December, Christmas. You know, I couldn't get presents for the kids. Like, you know, I was able to, but it was definitely a pressure. Where
so when was the WordPress site? The WordPress
site happened in January.
When
he emailed me or texted me and he was like, yo, the Google ad account finally got approved.
January of 19?
It was January of 19.
Okay. Yep. January 19. And then so you were doing that. And the Blue Lizard bottles came after that whole thing.
The Blue Lizard's bottles came in like July. So January, so the website lasted for 2.5 months because I remember looking at all of my Excel sheets of like just all the dates. And I was like, wow, that was 2.5 months long when like all that. And so January, February, March, the middle of March was when I stopped kind of like jotting down all the Excel numbers of all the sales daily. And then for those 2 months, January, February, March, April, May, I was hanging out. And then June or July, boom, walked into the TJ Maxx. And I was
so wait. You walked into TJ Maxx and what, the first like product that like you just found like a bargain bin?
I went to the beauty department. I was scanning Bare Minerals, these little discs that girls open up and just put and I was like, wow, this is $4.99. It's selling for $20 on Amazon. This is incredible. Like, you know, it was really, you know, I wasn't trying to go in there to make like $2. I just wanted to see like, and then when I saw that like there was the one bottle where I could buy for 10, I saw the sales rank was like 3,000. I was like, all right, I know better. Let me buy these and bring them home and do some further research on these. And not just like buy them. And that's why I brought it home. Everything checked out.
And you already had the experience because of your prior Amazon launches.
I already had
yeah, you knew Jungle Scout and that whole thing and how to like check a product out and everything, right?
I already sent in my own supplements to my Amazon account, and that kind of got shut down quickly. And I said, let me just chill on that.
All right.
And so
Blue Lizard bottles, $10,000. You put them into Amazon, and then what?
And then in a month, I made 10 grand from that. It was crazy. And then that was over. I bought every single bottle in the tri-state area, so I couldn't buy anymore. And then lo and behold, they ended up taking over that listing, the actual company, and everyone else was getting knocked off the listing. So I got in at the right time, got out, and it was a great experience.
Okay. And then, so when did like your real, because you said you mentioned you made like 7 or 9 million sales. When did your real business start that ended up making that money?
Yeah. You know what? when I gave that amount, I was just adding up all the years. But when we really break down the years, it hasn't been that long. So I don't know. I was just adding up like, oh, if I did like, because I know that when I did my taxes this year, what did it come out to? It was like 1.8 million my gross sales.
Okay.
What I actually, not for this year, for like 2022.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And then the year before that, I bought a house. I just moved out here. And
Yeah.
so that at that year, I remember adding up like 1.6. So it's always been over a million in gross sales every year.
Okay, but like the money, so those millions in sales, what is that primarily from? And you don't have to reveal the product or anything,
Oh,
but
the supplements.
the supplements. So you're still doing supplements
Yeah.
on Amazon.
Amazon, eBay,
Okay.
Shopify site,
Did you
Google.
end up joining the Shopify course, or you only did the Amazon course?
I only really did the Amazon course.
Okay, so you did the
Yeah.
Amazon. So then, basically, in 2020-ish, it came back around. You used the Amazon knowledge that you had from the failed Jade
Oh
Roller, that
yeah,
sort
yeah.
of thing, and then you took that knowledge, you applied it, and then that's when it. So describe how it really took off then, like into what
Okay.
it's today.
So TJ Maxx happened. And then at the end of that summer,
Blue
I
lizard
was like,
bottles.
I gotta get back into these
I could just
websites.
picture you, bro, in like the tri-state area,
Dude,
just like car loaded up with blue lizard bottles and just.
it was the best time of my life. I'm telling you, it was
No,
just
Joey's a true hustler.
it was incredible because yeah, it just really was.
Yeah. I mean, you were
So
probably on a high. You were like, yo, I gotta get to every TJ
it
Maxx
was
and buy
like
this
a
shit.
once in a lifetime
Yeah.
opportunity. Like, like I was in the moment and I was just chasing it and I was just soking in everything.
Were you
That
married at the time?
Yeah.
So did you text, like, your wife was seeing you do this? What was your wife's
Yeah.
reaction?
Um she wasn't really phased by it. I mean, she was like, cool.
And then when she saw, obviously, you were making money, what was her reaction like?
I mean, she was happy. She was happy. I was able to stay home with the kids. I was able to really be involved. I was able to, just not have stresses on, buying whatever we need when it comes to food and
Yeah.
just the necessities.
So is that
You
how
know
you
what I
are
mean?
now, obviously, I'm assuming?
Say what?
Is that how your situation is now? Like, you're not stressed about money, you're able to buy the
No,
kids
yeah,
whatever.
it was, you know what it was? I was actually, so before I launched the Amazon course, I'm sorry, before I launched the Jade Roller, I was working. The guy was paying me from his Amazon account,
Yeah.
and then I had so much time on my hands. I needed to do something other than nothing and just look at your like computer for a little bit.
Yeah.
So I had a friend who had like a cleaning service business, and I was like, dude, can I like work again, like for you? And he was like, yeah, we're doing like overnight cleaning in restaurants. So I cleaned restaurants in Manhattan and Brooklyn for like 5 hours a night and made like, how much was it for 3 days? I made like 750. So it was a nice amount for
Yeah.
a little amount of time. But I was working overnight and I did that for like 9 months. And at the point where I said, like, I'm about to launch this Jade Roller, I can't, once I got home, like that job really killed me and I wasn't able to focus. So I knew I had to make a decision. And that's when I made the decision where I was like, I'm going to go all in on this. I had enough money saved. It's not the wisest decision for everyone to leave your job to launch your Amazon product, but it just happened that way for me. But I needed to focus. I needed to
Yeah.
really focus and everything because I was literally reaching out. When you launch your product, I was reaching out to 3 to 4 to 5. I said I need 7 people a day to buy this thing. So I was reaching out to all the friends and family, PayPaling them the money for the product. And then I was in like a Facebook group where we were like a 3 people like
Yeah. The try reviews. Yeah. These were the tactics back in the day on Amazon.
It
Yeah.
worked so good.
Yeah.
I came on. So the thing that gave me an edge was my friend Austin was a professional photographer. So I brought my Jade Roller to his house and he took like amazing pictures of this. So everyone else had graphic images and mine had like these beautiful, he like took away the white, like it was just perfect for Amazon.
Yeah.
And I got the badge for a couple days. I got to the top spot. I was at the peak for just me having like, 20 reviews. It was selling like 50 a day consecutively. It was intense. And other people there were, the numbers back then were just like in the millions that people were doing.
Yeah.
Or 500,000 or
With
whatever.
Jade Rollers. Yeah. And then you got to the top and then you were doing 50 units a day, but then it stopped because the broken.
Once it went from 4.5 to 4, it was a wrap. And it just was a slow decline.
Because of the customers were getting it and it was
customer reviews. Once they gave 1-star reviews and showed pictures of it broken, I wasn't, I did everything right except for the reviews. I didn't set up Jungle Scout to ask for reviews from all those, like,
People that didn't get a broken Jade Roller, right?
exactly. And that was my downfall.
Yeah,
And
and
I
of
was like,
course,
oh, I
the
made,
downfall of the Jade Roller. Yeah.
yeah.
No, well, I had the
But
same issue. I had the
yeah.
same issue. I remember that at the time. But at the time, um, when I was already, I'd been selling the Jade Roller for several months, and I moved to Arizona, and I launched. That's when I launched Amazon Freedom. It used to be called. That's when you joined. And then it's Ecom Freedom. Funny story about that. The reason why I had to change it is because Amazon sent me a letter. There was some kind of there was like a big scamming group where they did like conferences in like Las Vegas, and they made people come, and then they would make people pay like 30 grand to set up their Amazon store for them. I mean, this is a common, scam. And at the time they got fined a hefty amount because obviously it's a scam. And so Amazon, they started looking into like the course business. And so they found mine, and then they just sent me a letter being like, oh yeah, you can't use Amazon in your name because it's a trademark, right? That's why we changed it to Ecom Freedom. And I was like, you know what? Anyway, whatever. Like, I remember at the time I was stressed. I'm like, man, what am I going to change this to? I was trying to come up with names with my friend, and then, yeah, we just, I changed it to Econ Freedom, and it was good because I eventually launched Shopify, and I figured that out. Shopify. Just two things, like my 2 cents on this, man. Shopify, when I started, it was very primitive. It was just AliExpress drop shipping, and I went into that with my Amazon knowledge and experience, and I was like, this is just garbage, I'm
The
like,
phone thing, right?
yeah, well, I did the phone thing, yeah, but
That was great.
the phone thing, yeah, I did the phone thing. We did like over 1 million in sales, but the issue when I came into Shopify, I'm like, hey, if I'm going to do Shopify, because the people on YouTube are asking for Shopify, if I'm going to do Shopify, I'm going to figure out a way to actually make a real business out of this and not like the bullshit AliExpress drop shipping, and that's when I came up with this whole branded drop shipping method. I made the Shopify tutorial after I tested it, where basically like how to get an actual logo. And I took the elements of the Amazon business, the private labeling, that you do, and I applied that to Shopify. And that way I had a logo on my product, fast shipping, everything else. So I basically like completely removed all the cons of drop shipping, made the tutorial, and then, ever since it's kind of, it's gotten really big. That video has a lot of views. But okay, so how has looking back, how has your life, obviously, you're very successful. You have this is how you provide for your family. How has your life changed compared to, how old are you? How old are you right now, if you don't mind me asking?
38, just turned 38.
38. So in 2018, you would have been like 33. How has your life changed between 32, 33-year-old Joey and now?
Not much has changed. I
Really?
mean, no, like I was happy when I had nothing when I first started doing this thing. So I've always kept the same positive attitude.
Okay. But I mean, like, obviously going from, I mean, how much money were you making at the time when you started?
I was making enough just to pay the bills and everything. It was only until that first drop shipping site that happened where I made that 20 grand that I, pulled out of the bank quick.
Yeah. Okay. So your tax return went from like probably
What's
40.
what's changed? I mean, I was able to buy a house
Okay.
literally a year and a half ago. So that put me into a different category of like not having to, have a landlord and pay rent that way.
Right.
Um, Things have changed. We moved out to New Jersey, so we've had more property. My kids are able to run around the backyard, have a, better quality of life out here.
So what about, like, I mean, okay, so you have kids, right? And you have a wife. I mean, obviously you're able to buy a house. Do you like drive a dream car or not really?
I gave my wife the nicer car and I just bought a pickup truck. I didn't feel comfortable in the nicer car. I was like, I don't like this. I just didn't like,
You didn't want the
driving.
attention. Yeah.
Yeah, I really thought it was kind of strange. So I just bought a nice little Dodge Ram, and I enjoyed it a lot.
Okay.
But the quality of, not much has changed in that sense, but the freedom
The
that it
freedom.
brought.
Yeah.
No, yeah, of course. Oh, obviously there are tangible things that have changed, like without a doubt.
You don't have to go and work at a call center with selling payday loans. You don't have to go work in Manhattan cleaning offices in the restaurant, sorry, at nighttime, right?
Yeah, I mean, so
That's all part of the journey.
yeah, my dad always had a business, so I was always brought up in a house where,
Yeah.
that was my influence.
So I wanted to ask you this. How much, obviously you joined at the time, it was Amazon Freedom. You joined my course back in 18, and then you did a Jade Roller. It unfortunately didn't succeed, but it doesn't matter now because in 2020 you came back to Amazon. And now you obviously grossed 7 to 9 million ish, in the millions. The question that I have for you is, honestly, how much, like, how much did that sign up for the course, even though the Jade Roller quote unquote failed? How much did that, do you think that was necessary? Did that
Oh
help you?
my. So I watched all of your, I watched so much of your videos at that time, and I took in everything, and I was like, wow, I have everything I need. Someone could have not bought your course and went through all your playlists and gathered all the information. But in order for me to like really have like said to myself, let me just make sure I'm getting everything, from A to Z figured out. And when I bought the course, that was the reason why I bought it. I was like, I want to just have everything from A to Z,
Yeah.
especially the China stuff. I wanted to have that extra bit of information that could
Yeah.
help me not make a mistake. And that's why I bought it. And I was right. It was 100% that extra level of like information that just I was able to go through. I didn't even watch through every single video. I just went exactly what I needed because I had everything already. I just
Yeah.
needed the Chinese supplier
Yeah.
stuff,
Yeah.
all the logistics of that, because I shipped it into the Amazon account. And I
Right.
was like, that there were really no videos that touched on that heavily on YouTube, but that was why I bought the course. It was the game changer for me because it gave me that extra layer of confidence.
Right. Right. And so, and obviously compared to the money that you spent on the course, I mean, looking back and
Priceless.
now moving forward
Priceless.
5 years later, what's the return? I mean, insane, right?
It's
Yeah.
insane. It changed
Yeah.
everything
Yeah.
because it was
Well,
because of that that led me to where I am now.
yeah. Well, and I will say, and by the way, if everybody watching, I do not pay people to get on my student success interviews. These are real people, real, like testimonies or stories. I really just, I just want to show people, share people of different backgrounds succeeding, whether it's 7, 8 million, or whether it's like, I just interviewed this guy named Tang, who's Vietnamese background, and he made like 45K, but like still like he was able to like stop slaving away at the nail salon he owns, and he was able to pay off his debt. So it's like, it's just like all these people are achieving freedom. Of course, there's a lot of people that fail. Well, it's like just like the gym. I mean, if you sign up for a gym membership, you don't go to the gym, you don't persist and everything else. I mean, you're not gonna get fit. Like I can't do it for you. I mean, Joey did it himself. I provided the information. I don't know, when your name popped up recently, I remember it sounded familiar because at the time I was doing the mentorship. I don't know how many times you reached out to me on Facebook. Did we talk a lot on Facebook or not really?
No, I just reached out to you for the
Like one
product
time?
thing. Yeah, a couple times on Instagram.
Okay.
Maybe there was a message on Facebook, but yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And at the time, Jade Rollers were selling well. I mean, they were. It's just at the time too, I couldn't reveal what I was selling either because it was just too
Yeah.
early in the process. It was like my first year of business. So I was like, but once you get big enough, like you're in the millions, it's like you said, your supplements on Amazon, you're pretty set there. So,
So
okay. So what are your big goals now? And what are your, like, I guess you
yeah,
mentioned.
that's so the
Yeah.
big goal is always to build a brand. It's literally everything that's been saying since 2017 from like the video, like that is the ultimate goal,
Yeah.
is to acquire skills, understand what you like to do, and understand, a place that you enjoy in a niche or whatever it is, but to ultimately build a brand. But, if you don't know how to build a brand, start doing something, but then again, if you go to TJ Maxx and you start scanning products, you could possibly get your Amazon account deactivated because you sent in the wrong product. So there's things that you have to be very careful. But if you're too careful, you'll do nothing.
Exactly. Or stay, working at
Yeah.
the call center selling payday loans, right? Or whatever. So,
Yeah.
I respect the hustle. I'm just saying, like, no matter what you do, what I've learned, you got to choose your hard, right? So
So yeah,
I'm sure you'd rather be with your kids at home and have that flexibility and have this freedom rather than, be stuck at whatever all those menial jobs you were doing, watching your boss at the time, I guess your friend, he was paying you 5K, but he was making money. Right. And then if this never happened, your brother, like literally, if you didn't take the course, like well, I can't say if you didn't take the course, but like if you didn't get into e-commerce and take it seriously, then your brothers in law, right? They wouldn't have an e-commerce business. They would still be slaving away at the pizzeria.
My brother does it full time now too.
So
I've infiltrated almost everyone.
yeah, no, but that's great. And that's actually really rare to see because usually in a family, you have ones that are less motivated, like I find like, okay, you're the most motivated, and then like the other ones, they all want to do it, but they're not as motivated. But it's cool to see that all of you guys, maybe it's the Italian in you, it's like that.
Nah, I was just persistent, and they saw what happened for me and they couldn't believe it. So, for certain people, they were able to like attest to what happened. They were like, wow. And so, that's just what it was. It was
Yeah.
my influence just kind of just helped that happen for certain people. Yeah.
So what would you say to people watching this right now and they want to achieve freedom? They're tired of their, slavery. What would you recommend to them?
Good question. Just literally, you have to spend 100 hours taking in education on it,
Yeah.
because the idea sounds great. It gets you excited and you want to know what to do next. And, sometimes when you're anxiously kind of like doing that, you end up doing nothing. You have to really, that's what I've been telling, people now that I'm trying to help. I'm just like, dude, you have to educate yourself on it.
Yeah.
And that's a hard step too, because you're motivating them, they're excited, but now they have to get to work. And that's the hard transfer of like at them actually doing it on their own. So yeah, that's what I would say, to just do your best to practice and get into a rhythm of just taking in videos on the subject and just start documenting it all as if you're in school.
So maybe your next step, you mentioned, since Amazon, you never know where you're going to wake up to, even in the millions, right? Maybe your next step is to go on another platform as well. Are you thinking about that?
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, like, Shopify is great because that's your own platform
Yeah.
to a degree,
To a degree, yeah.
but
You have much more freedom than Amazon for sure.
yeah, I
But you
mean,
also have to drive your own traffic and your own ads and everything else, right?
yeah. So I made a video in like 2000, when was it? Like 2020, of me going into Manhattan, into TJ Maxx, and scanning the products, because I was like, I wanted to like make some videos for my friends and family so I could show them, because I was repeating myself so much. So I made a video, I put it on there, and even like a couple days ago, I made another video of me sitting here saying, and introducing certain topics that I want to share with them. So
Right.
we'll see what happens with that. But
Wait, is that a YouTube channel that you have?
yeah, I have a YouTube channel. I'm gonna
Okay,
start putting up some videos on there. Yeah,
you want me to
just
link it?
Joey Scanella. Yeah.
Okay. Joey Scanella. So I'll put it down below.
I think that, yeah. I'll text it to you.
All right, sweet. I'll put it down below. Well, Joey, thanks so much, man. It's a super inspiring story. And for everybody watching, Ecom Freedom, we're now the highest rated course, proud to say, 4.8, 880 reviews, I think, on Trustpilot from our students. Obviously, I've interviewed lots of people recently, Joey including, 7 to 9 million in revenue, obviously at a new level of freedom that he would have not achieved if it weren't for the opportunity, but he took it seriously. And I want to paint as realistic of a depiction as possible for people. It's not everybody can get rich doing this, and not everybody, but obviously someone like Joey, who was a hustler and who made, he persisted no matter what, through all those, I guess, difficulties and ups and downs, you can make it work. So if you're interested, click the link down below. It's going to be down there. Whether the course is open, we take for the mentorship program, we take a certain amount of people every quarter. So, and we only work with people who at this point, we really believe can succeed. They fit a profile, like a certain profile, just like Joey. Like if Joey were to apply today, then yeah, we would take him, because we know the kind of person who would succeed. It also depends like where people are from and stuff. And, starting capital is important as well. So yeah, but check out the link down below for the program, for the mentorship. And thanks so much, Joey, for being on here. Check out Joey's channel too.
Thanks.
If you enjoyed the student success interview and you want to get started, you're tired of waiting, you want to achieve freedom, and you want to build that successful e-commerce business, click on the link down below to check out the Ecom Freedom Elite Mentorship Program. It is the highest rated e-commerce mentorship program online. We only work with a limited amount of students every quarter. We only take 200 people per quarter per course, whether that's Amazon or Shopify. So when you click on that link, if you see a wait list, then put in your email and you're going to get an email as soon as we are opening up the next round of mentorship students, which is every quarter, 200 people. So if you want to do this, you want to do it the right way, and you want to work with people who have blazed this path before and who have achieved success, you want to work with $1 Million mentors, go ahead and click on the link down below to put in your application to join the Ecom Freedom Elite Mentorship Program. We only work with people who fit the profile of somebody who would succeed. We know there's lots of different factors, and since we've worked with thousands of people and brought them to success, we know the kind of person who succeeds, and we only want to work with people who really know we can help. So check that out, click on that link, and put in that application form if you want to get started and you want to achieve freedom now. Thanks so much for watching. For the best freedom and online business information out there, for the best, truth, freedom, and for the information that will set you free, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching.